Get out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is a killer. You get into a rut. What is the difference between a rut and a grave? Well, the rut's turned up on the ends. That's about the only difference. Both of them will trap you, and you will not live a fulfilling, adventurous, exciting life. Just think about this. If you went to a movie and the main character was raised up in a wonderful family, no problems, everything went well, he went to high school, made good grades, went to college, got good grades, graduated, got a good job, met a beautiful woman, had kids, raised those kids, retired, lived a perfect life, you would probably get up and walk out of that movie. Well, the same thing is your life. If your life was like that, you would probably want to get out of it because it would be so boring. Now, I know if you're having troubles or problems, you think, no, I wish my life were like that. Well, if you really wanted your life like that, it would be like that. Your life is exactly the way you've made it, as is mine. Get out of that comfort zone. One thing you could do is travel. Maybe you say, I don't have any money, Mark. How much money does it take to get in your car and go somewhere, drive and just stay in a hotel? Okay, if you can't afford a hotel, you can get you a tent, go to a campground. When I was 16 years old, I was traveling across the country on my motorcycle, 17, 18, 19, by myself. Of course, I wouldn't think about my kids doing that now. I guess I'm kind of a protective father, but I pretty well let them do what they want if they wanted to. Actually, one of my sons did go out to California and come back through Las Vegas and happened to get arrested because he bought some weed in California, which was legal at that time, and then it wasn't legal in Vegas. So he called me from the jail, and I wouldn't bail him out because of his own mess he got into. But you know what? He's home. It's been a long time ago, and that was an adventure for him. Is your adventure always going to work out perfectly? No, but it makes for great memories. I have a life full of wonderful memories. Were they so wonderful when I was in the middle of some of those situations? No, not at all. Not at all. When I had to leave Central America and go through Mexico, I had to pay the border guards off to get across the border. Yeah, and they wanted quite a bit of money. Well, $100 a piece, which is quite a bit down there. And I could tell you other stories about that too, but you'll have to read the book if you want to know those. But I've lived a life of adventure, and it's not over yet. Unfortunately, though, as you get older, you get to where you don't want to get out of that comfort zone. You don't want to take as many risks. That's when you really have to push yourself to take risks. What's the difference between you now at 40, 50, or even 60 than when you were young? You were more adventurous then. You were more, what's the word? Spontaneous. You were more spontaneous. Maybe you say to me, well, Mark, I just can't pick up and take off. I got responsibilities. I get it, man. I got responsibilities too. But sometimes you just got to do it. You just got to get up there and do something. Set your life up so you can just take off. By the grace of God, and I give God all the credit, I could just get up right now, go to the airport and get on a plane and go to Thailand, China, although I don't like the thought of flying 36 hours. But I could go down to South America, Peru. I could go anywhere in the world I wanted to. And like I said, I give God all the credit because I never was in a position where I could do that. And if I had my way, I'd probably still be chasing girls like I was back when I was in my late 20s. But that all fell apart, and I had to start a different way of living. I still like women, of course. And I have gone places out of the country and met women. I mean, there's beautiful women all over the world. But unless you have a little bit of game, it doesn't matter whether you have a woman here in the U.S. or a woman there. You're going to get played or taken advantage of. If it's happening here, it can happen there. I will say this, though. The culture is very different in other countries compared to the way it is now here in the U.S. But you're never going to know that unless you get out of this country. You got to get out of this bubble. The whole world is not like the U.S. 80% of the people don't live like we live here. This is paradise, and most of us don't even realize it. But you're never going to know that if you don't get out of your own city. I think less than 20% of Americans have passports, and out of that 20%, I'm not sure, but they all don't use them. And a lot of them just go to like Mexico, to Cancun or something like that. Experience the world. Put yourself in a position where you can do things that you dream about. You're not trapped unless you believe you are. You're only limited by the limits you put upon yourself. If you're working a job you don't like, keep working, but learn a skill or a trade. We are lacking in skilled trades here in the U.S., and skilled tradesmen many times make a hell of a lot more than all those people with college educations. You can learn a trade and then start your own business once you learn the trade. It's just a question of whether you want to spend more time complaining or more time building yourself up, improving yourself so you can have your own business and do all those things you dream about. There's nothing stopping you from it except yourself. But I get it. If you want to go to work somewhere, retire in 40 years, complain about your boss every day because of all the challenges and obstacles to starting your own business and the risks, I understand that. I really do. Sometimes I wonder why I do what I do. And I realize when I run into some obstacles and difficulties and challenges, why people just go to work and then come home and leave it there. Because when you're self-employed, you never just leave it on the job. I'm liable to get a call at 10 o'clock at night from a customer who's not satisfied. Or my sons are working right now, and they may call me while I'm talking to you and tell me something went wrong on the job, or they broke something, or they screwed something up. And I'm responsible for that. So I get it why you don't want to take those responsibilities. But I'm willing to do what most people won't do so I can have what most people don't have. And there's a lot of people out there that have a lot more than I have. And as I said, I'm giving God the credit because I don't know why I have the desire to do what I do and some people don't. And I have the blessing of being able to take advantage of opportunities to travel and to do those things I want to do. To raise my 6 kids without a woman or child support or anything like that. I was able to do that because the longer I live, I realize I didn't really do all this. Yeah, I would have to say it was done to me because I had my plan of what I wanted, and many times I didn't get what I wanted. And then I realized I thought that's what I wanted, but when I didn't get that, and in the end, when things turned out the way they did, I realized I got what I really wanted. So who's doing that? I say it's the God in me that's doing that. Just like there's a God in you. But God's in you, He's in me, He's in everyone. And He's in everything. There's one belief system long ago, they called it the all. Everything. God is everything. God is either everything or nothing at all. And if you don't believe in God, that's okay. That's between you and nothing, or between you and God, or however you want to choose to look at that. But I know what works for me. And after years of trying to run my own life and railing against God, running away from God, I realize now that all along God was loving me and guiding me. However, I wasn't very willing, but finally, as God has a way of doing, He beat me down into my right size. He gave me a degree of humility. I'm sure I could probably use some more. But as I say, better to err on the side of a little bit of arrogance than debasing humility where you don't think anything of yourself. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking less about you and more of other people. I think I said that right. Maybe I didn't. But the point of the whole video here is this. Get up and do what you're afraid of. What would you do, excuse me, what would you do if you knew you would not fail? What would you do if money was no object? That's the true desire within you. And we all have one or two or three. That's what you need to be moving towards. Will it require courage? Of course it will. Courage beyond what you think you possess? Yes. And that's when you reach out and ask for help. Ask God for help, and He will help you. If you believe that, according to your faith, it is done unto you. Or according to how you believe, it will be done for you. Who makes you breathe at night? Do you go to bed telling yourself, okay, I'm going to breathe so many times every minute for the rest of the night? No, of course you don't. There's a part of you, the bigger part of you, the God part of you that does that for you, who digests your food and turns it into all those vitamins and minerals and distributes those throughout your body in the exact right place where it goes. Who does that? You don't do that, nor do I. Who makes you sweat? Who makes you shiver when you're cold? There's a part of you that does that, but not the conscious part of you, not the thinking mind. The thinking mind has its place. But too many times we try to run our lives with our thinking mind. If I'm trying to figure something out and project what I think someone's going to do or what's going to happen, then I'm playing God with this mind that really is just good for 1 + 1 is 2. It is good for some things. I do need to plan my day. But I like the old expression or saying, man plans and God laughs. Plan your day. I think it's great to plan. I plan my day. But at the end of the day, look at your plan and see how well that worked out. We need a plan. We need to step out and move in a direction. Because how can you be guided if you don't get up off your butt, get off the couch, and start moving? So you want to tell me you don't know how to get to where you want to go? You don't need to know how. All you need to know is what the first step is. And you all know what that is. It may be as simple as reading a book, or checking something out on the internet, or calling someone. I love what Martin Luther King Jr. said. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. The stairwell or the staircase may be in the dark, but you can see the first step because there's a light at the bottom of the stairs. Take that first step, and as you take that, more will be revealed to you. And then you do that. Now it's going to take courage. It's not for the faint-hearted. But as I said, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you knew you would not fail? What would you do if money was no object? These are all limitations, obstacles you put before yourself so you don't have to take that step, so you can remain in fear. If there's a devil, it ought to be doubt and fear, because it destroys more dreams and people and lives and hopes than anything else. Something for you to think about today. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you to my current subscribers. I appreciate you guys. What was I going to say? Anyway, I'm done. Take care. Have a wonderful day.